Hi, this is Katie Johnson, and I am doing my first vlog. I decided to do a video blog. I've never done anything on YouTube before, but I thought I would give it a shot and see if I can figure this out, because it seems kind of fun just to try something different. Because I guess a video in itself is a form of art. So I hope everything goes well. And I don't forget too much. Um, I decided to do my assignment, my analysis on a art piece by Lucas Cranach. I'm not sure if I'm saying that. The Elder. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correct, but I'm trying. So he was very interesting to me. Because he um, wasn't a part of our Northern Renaissance assignment, and so he was kind of an extra, and that's why I picked him. I wanted to pick somebody who was not a part of the assignment and get a different look at things. And the second thing is, when I decided I would pick a piece from him, I started researching him and found out that he was a very strong influence during the Northern Renaissance. He has a lot of ties into the Protestant Reformation through Martin Luther, and also he also painted for the, I would say it wrong, Habsburgs family. He first painted Emperor Maximilian, who was a Habsburg. Um, he painted him first, and then later on he painted, I guess, as a boy. He was a boy when he had painted him, but he later became Emperor Charles V. And Emperor Charles V was very significant because he was kind of the throne to, or the heir to, three leading dynasties of the Northern Renaissance. So significant, the most significant being the House of Habsburg, of the Habsburg monarchy. And we learned all about the Habsburg monarchy during our Northern Renaissance assignment. So I also, to talk about his influence and his relation to the Reformation, he started out with Martin Luther printing off his Bibles. And so he kind of had a monopoly that one of the kings had set up for him, the monarchy had set up for him, that he could have the monopoly of publishing. And so he had published Martin Luther's Bibles, and became close with him. And actually, through the Reformation, the Protestant Reformation, and through all of these changes that were happening with the church during the Northern Renaissance, he became very close to Martin Luther, and was actually the godfather to Martin Luther's first son. So I thought that was really interesting, and it tied in really well to our Northern Renaissance assignment, and what the monarchy meant to the Northern Renaissance time, and what the church and the changes that were going on in the church meant to the Northern Renaissance time. So it was really interesting, and I was glad to see how well it tied in. I was going to say something else about Cranach. I know he started painting animals, and then from there he did some wood carvings. I think he made some coins. Just kind of did what a lot of the other artists of that time did, and got some claim to fame through that. He did a lot of, when I was looking for something to study or analyze one of his paintings, I noticed that he did have a lot of nudity, and I, they were saying, when I was researching things, and they said that a lot of that was drawn from the Italian Renaissance, that he had gotten some things from the Italian Renaissance. And I'm okay with nudity and all those beautiful paintings. It's just that I think I get somewhat distracted by the nudity, because we, don't have two paintings from our time that we see. Well, when we go to the store to pick up something to hang on the wall, we don't go and find a naked picture. So I can be somewhat distracted sometimes by that. And I wanted to make sure that I had chosen a painting that I wouldn't get too distracted with. So I actually decided I would do my analysis on Head of Christ with Crowns of Thorns. And this painting was painted in 1509 by the elder. And so I was looking up and trying to figure out where it was painted, and I couldn't find anything about that, but they did say that Lucas Cranach did some. They said that it looked like some of his Venetian work. And my understanding of that is, like I said, with even his nudity paintings, that he had sometimes drawn ideas or, concepts from some Italian Renaissance work. So that's what I found out about that. And the thing that really captured me first about this painting were the eyes. That's why I chose it. I'm not very religious. I didn't choose it based on any of my religious affiliation or anything like that. I just really thought it was a beautiful image, and picked it based on the eyes. When I clicked on the image and I really started studying it, I thought it was such a beautiful contrast between beauty and darkness. Um, the eyes brought me in, but the rest of the image kind of really kept me there and kept me looking. Usually, when I really enjoy a painting, it's because, there's 20 different things going on in the painting, like 20 different people or animals or things going on, and I like finding new things every time. And what I really loved about this painting is that although there's not 20 different people in this painting, um, I seem to find something new every time I look at it. So that was really, really neat to me. One thing I really appreciated about this painting was the shadowing. I thought the shadow around the nose and the mouth and the neck was beautiful, and the way that Cranach had put a sheen on the curls where the light would have reflected. So you can see, you can get the image of the curls. It just looks so much like a real-time picture. It looks to me like a picture that could be taken with a camera. Um, the exception to that is it looks like an image that could be taken with a camera, except for the expression in the face. By that I mean Jesus does not look surprised or seem to be searching for any answers in this image. The Through my research, I read that this image would have been of Jesus right when he got his thorns on, before he started his journey, before he got the cross. And so he a normal person, if you didn't know this was coming or things like that, would have been surprised, or why is this happening to me? I didn't do anything wrong. Or But Jesus is not surprised in this image. He just looks so sad. There is just so much sorrow on his face that I really thought was quite just really emotional when I looked at this painting. And so I really thought that was beautiful. The other thing I really thought was amazing in this painting was that the thorns are so ugly looking. They're not nice to look at, and they just look so awful and evoke such a bad feeling. And yet there's this beautiful face right underneath it. And so, the ability to present such conflicting images in one and have them make sense together, I really thought was pretty beautiful. So I don't know how I could ever think thorns could ever be so beautiful, but when you put it all together, it really is quite an emotional piece, just because of the sorrow on in his eyes. So the painting texture, I did try to find different images. I looked at the painting from a lot of different websites online, and I wasn't able to see a lot of texture from what I could see online. I did see a lot of the color contrast. It shows the darkness around the painting from the hair and the thorns, and then it's like on a black background, but Jesus' face is flesh colored with his white eyes. And yet, even though they contrast so much, there's a lightness and a blending, I guess you could say, of these contrasting colors that make it all not seem so noticeable that the colors are so different. They all kind of blend in and make sense, even though they're two very different shades right next to each other. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't know how you get to, and maybe it just makes sense to me and it doesn't seem to be so contrasting just because I look at myself every day and I've got flesh color and dark hair, and maybe that's why it doesn't seem to be so contrasting in my brain, but um, it doesn't take away from what the image is evoking. Another strong thing I want to remember to talk about with the eyes that really captured me was the whiteness of the eyes, and then also, the blue, the different colors of blue that he painted in the eyes, and then also there's also like a yellow right around the pupil, and there's even a lighted mirror kind of image that you would see, like a reflection like you would see off our own pupils. And I really thought that was beautiful too. It gave that depth, that realness, that real-time almost image, that I thought was really beautiful. So I just wanted to make sure I said that because I think that the eyes really say so much in this painting. I don't want to forget to talk about anything. The shapes are pretty real time. They are not, they're very round. They're not rigid or square or triangles. They're very organic, and very natural. Natural is probably the best word to use with his shapes. So, and like I said about the structures, there's not, or the textures, there's not a lot of different textures that I see. Just a blending of image between hair and face, and not a whole lot of contrast between the images. So, and like I said, with the space, there's a deepness into it because of the eyes and the hair. The hair with the, like I said, with the lightness around the curls to show the curls, and then the shadowing with the eyes. So I guess I talked about the Reformation and how it tied in, how he tied into the Reformation and being the godfather to Martin Luther's son, which I think or the godfather, yeah, to his son. I think that's pretty amazing. And then the influence of royalty, like I said, they even let him take a monopoly over on a printing press, so he definitely had royalty on his side that I'm sure helped him out quite a bit. And I told you what I found appealing, and yeah, I think I covered most everything I needed to talk about. I am learning how to describe artwork. I'm definitely not great at it. It's not something I've ever done. I've always enjoyed artwork. I just never took the time. I don't want to say took the time. I just never thought enough about it to think about why I enjoyed that art, or what it was that really made me look at it and keep looking at it and keep enjoying it. And so I've been having a fun time looking at images, and having to think for the first time in 26 years, why do I like that? And what is about it? And just trying to pick it apart and really see different things, because I'm learning through this class. The thing that I've learned to appreciate is that the longer you look at it and the more you think about what is it about it that really speaks to me, the more you can really appreciate all the little details, and you can appreciate the talent that was there. I mean, to think this is in the 1500s, and he was able to paint an image that looks like a picture, from our camera. And cameras didn't come along for hundreds of years later, and I think it's just amazing, and it makes me emotional to think that human beings and humankind have such an amazing talent. So thank you for listening, and I hope I answered all the questions correctly, or I shouldn't say correctly, but I hope I didn't miss anything. And thank you for all of the great learning opportunities, and I hope everyone enjoyed this, and I hope that it worked out well. I'll have to try another video blog next time. We'll see you later. Thanks.